Mortal Kombat is the one game that can say for a fact that they kill a story every single year. There's no fighting game that can compete on a story base. I don't care what you say, I don't care how you feel, because what I'm saying ain't no opinion, it's facts, ladies and gentlemen. And this story in MK1 is no different this year. It was great. I ain't gonna say phenomenal, but it's really good. 9 out of 10, solid, really great story. And it was better than MK11, which I enjoyed a lot. But it's not the story in today's video that I want to talk about. Not completely anyway. It's the ending of the story. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your host TTG, and I got a question. How good was the ending of Mortal Kombat 1 story? First and foremost, obviously this will have spoilers for MK1, MK11, MK franchise, whatever. You know it's gonna have spoilers. Stop clicking on these videos knowing it's gonna have spoilers. Before we talk about the ending of the game, let's briefly touch the story of the game of Mortal Kombat 1. So just a refresher on MK11, Kronika, who was the keeper of time, she literally controlled and created all the people we know, pretty much was the big bad in Mortal Kombat 11. And at the ending of that game, Liu Kang is the one who ends up defeating her and getting the power to be the keeper of time, meaning he can control history itself, restart it, make it his own, however he wants. But in the extension of the story MK11, which was Mortal Kombat Aftermath, Shang Tsung ends up being the big bad, and him and Liu Kang does this whole fighting thing over being the keeper of time. But this is the tricky part. They had two separate endings, which they never did before, I don't think at least. One ending, you could play as Shang Tsung and he wins and becomes a keeper of time. The second one, you play as Liu Kang and he wins. But little did we know, both of those endings are canon. And in MK1, they play a huge factor in the story itself, because moving on to MK1, we find out the person we thought was Kronika was not actually Kronika. It was Shang Tsung, and not just any Shang Tsung. This is Titan Shang Tsung, meaning this is the Shang Tsung that won the fight against Liu Kang in MK11. And you might be saying, TTG, how did he win a fight against Liu Kang when we see Liu Kang right here in MK1? He's the keeper of time. And you are correct. They are both the keeper of time. Yes, keep up with me, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about timelines and time jumping, alternate realities and all that, it gets kind of hectic. So just keep up with me for a second. As I said, both of these characters, them winning against one another, they are both correct. Their fight basically tore the fabric of time and it created alternate timelines. So they thought it was just one timeline only, and it was not. But not only was it two timelines, it's way more timelines that was created. And you might be going, how is that possible? I don't know. The fight just created it, I guess. I don't know, man. It's mind blowing to me. I love it. So we find out not only is Shang Tsung and Liu Kang a Titan, which is a keeper of time, also pretty much every other Mortal Kombat character is. So Katana, Melina, Geras, Raiden, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, and any Mortal Kombat character you could think of that exists is a Titan and a keeper of time in their own timeline. To me, this was like, oh, this is crazy. I love the fact that they're going this route, and I was a fan. I am a fan. But like I said, I understand people do not always like the whole time jumping thing and multiple timelines because they feel like it's kind of a cop out to do certain things or whatever. And I agree to a certain extent, but I like it in this case. But at the ending of this game, we have this whole thing where Liu Kang is regaining his powers because he lost it or whatever, and he goes and look for more Titans around timelines to get all of them, an army of them, to fight against Shang Tsung's Titans across timelines as well. So in a way, it's like gods against gods, and this creates Armageddon, the biggest war in the Mortal Kombat game, and one of my favorite games. Like, hey, shout out Mortal Kombat Armageddon. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the best. You know what I'm saying? One of the best games ever. I don't care what nobody talking about fighting games anyway. That game is fire. All right, I'm getting off. Whatever. All right. So we're getting to see all of these fire different types of alternate versions of Mortal Kombat characters. Like I remember it was like a female Ermac. It was like a Quan Chi Sub-Zero type, I believe, and just crazy stuff you wouldn't even think of. Like I think it was like a blind Johnny Cage who like Kenchi Johnny Cage mix. I think, I don't know. It was just crazy stuff just in there. And normally they end off the chapter with like one of the main characters to end the game with. In the last game it was Liu Kang, and in this year's game it was Liu Kang, or at least we thought it was Liu Kang, because it was not, ladies and gentlemen. Right after you play what you thought would be the last chapter with Liu Kang, there's a chapter 13 called Armageddon, and you could pick any character on a roster besides like two. And this was one of the coolest things. I feel like, bro, this was so fire. You pretty much just pick any character. So let's say you pick Johnny Cage, right? It's not Johnny Cage from the timeline that we're witnessing. It's a Johnny Cage from a different timeline that's a Titan. It's a Titan Johnny Cage, basically. At least that's what I'm thinking. But it's definitely not the Johnny Cage for our timeline. And you're just going up this pyramid, just fighting against these crazy different variations variations of Mortal Kombat characters that you've never seen before. And that's the thing that I like about this multiple timelines thing, if they could like play around with so many characters that you've never seen. And just their execution about it was just great. I don't know, I just had to say these things, man. I just had to bring this to my channel because I really enjoyed it. But I do have a few issues with this game at the end of it. And the first thing is Shang Tsung not really feeling like the big bad at the end of the game, to me anyway. For example, Chronica, when you went against her, you can tell she was the bad guy, the one to beat. Like, you know, when you beat her, it's done. It didn't feel like that to me in MK1. When I beat Shang Tsung, at first I didn't even realize that was Titan Shang Tsung. I thought it was just a different Shang Tsung because the fight was so easy. Mind you, I did have it on medium. But even if I had on hard or very hard and won, it still wouldn't have felt like I'm going against like this boss level Shang Tsung. That was one of my big issues. I just didn't feel like at the end of the game that they really capitalized on him being the big bad character. I felt like they could have did a little bit better. And then the second thing is, it was very anticlimactic to me at the end. You kind of beat Shang Tsung and Liu Kang sends whatever character you pick to their timeline or whatever. And it's like, cool, now we're sitting at a table in Madame Bo's restaurant eating and laughing, and then Liu Kang walks outside and goes, Earth realm is safer or something like that. I don't know. And then it just ends, and it's kind of like, okay, like, I don't know, bro. Like, I didn't really like that either. I felt like that could have been capitalized better. And then the third thing was the post-credit scene with Titan Havoc. Now, although I did like it and I think it was cool, I don't understand it. Like, it doesn't give me that, oh my gosh, what's next vibe. It's just kind of like, okay, cool, I would like to see what's gonna happen. I was expecting more like the post-credit scene with Thanos at the end, you know, fine, I'll do it myself. Like, I was expecting something like that, where you look at him, you go, oh my gosh, this finna go crazy in the next game. But it was just kind of like, oh look, it's Titan Havoc. Oh look, he said chaos. Ha ha ha. Okay, cool. He's gonna be something later down the line. And that was it. So those are like my main 3 issues with it. But all in all, story mode 9 out of 10. Really good. I really did enjoy it. I think it was better than MK11. And I am excited for the future of the Mortal Kombat franchise. And that's pretty much it. I just felt like the need to really get this off my chest and say this, you know, and get it on my chest and just get y'all take on what y'all think about the story itself. So let me know in the comments how you feel about the story, what you think of it, and if you liked it or not. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. We upload every Saturday. And as always, I've been Ty Talks Gaming, and I'll see you all when the sun sets. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen.